Good morning. Happy Palm Sunday. You're here with Gracesurano Vinciguerra, and we're ready to make our prosciutto Easter bread, which in Italian is called Casatiello in Neapolitan dialect. The ingredients you will need after you make the dough is black pepper, grinded black pepper, fresh eggs. Don't boil them because they're going to cook in the oven. You're going to need a dough cutter, some fresh Parmigiano cheese that has been grated, some flour for flouring the workstation. I have 3 different cheeses in here. I have a sharp goat cheese. I have, oh my God, I just went blank. I have some provolone, which I'm going to be chopping some more up in it. It gives it a nice sharp flavor. And I have some provola, smoked provola, which is a dried mozzarella that has been smoked in a smoker. Just a couple of pieces of that just to give it a nice flavor. So any pieces you see with that golden color on it, that's the smoked cheese. In here I have some salami. I have stick salami and Genoa salami. And I have some pieces of prosciutto that have been cut and some ham, which is prosciutto cotto in Italian, okay? And then I have the finish of the prosciutto. This is what we use for inside the casatiello and for the other products that we make, the pizza rustica at Easter time. The pizza rustica we will be making later on in the week. Today we're just doing the casatiello. We have house guests over for the weekend. This is the reason yesterday I did not do the video. I was lucky enough, I want you to know, I've been having a hard time finding just the right bowl scraper for me, for my hand. I told you I have small hands. This is the one that came with a stone. If you remember the first video I did of me making the bread, this came with it. Very nice for the stone. But as far as bowls are concerned, it's too wide and it's not rounded off enough, and it's hard. It's a hard plastic, so this is more for the stone. Yesterday I was lucky enough to get my KitchenAid bowl scraper made out of silicone, and I bought this, believe it or not, in Target, okay? I just happened to be standing there waiting for my daughter. I look up at the wall. I think there was 2 left. I'm so happy. Target, thank you. KitchenAid, thank you for inventing it. Perfect size for a woman's hand. My hand, I have small hands. Some women have big hands. And also a smaller bowl scraper for around the KitchenAid itself, okay? So excellent, excellent product. I paid $7 for it. Very well worth it. KitchenAid, if you're listening, send me anything you want. I will put it on air. I love your products. Okay. Now, this is the dough I prepared 3 days ago, Nikki?
Something like that.
Yeah, 3 days ago. I did the video of it. Okay, so what I did was cover it. It has been sitting in a closed oven with no light on. I just put the light on for the first 2 hours, and that's to warm the dough. This is my beautiful dough. Now, the casatiello dough is prepared very differently. It's not a regular bread dough. And if anybody makes it like a regular bread dough, it is not the original casatiello. Casatiello dough always has some lard in it, okay? That's what makes it flaky. Here, look at this. It's like a pastry dough. You see that? You see all the air bubbles? You see how light? Look. See how you take it apart? Look at that. You getting that, Nick?
Yes.
Okay. There's also black pepper already in here because the black pepper has to start to amalgamate to get the flavoring in the dough. Because when you do eat a good casatiello, good prosciutto bread, it's supposed to be tasty. It's supposed to be a little spicy, okay? So this is gonna wait here while we do all this. It feels like the texture, how can I explain it to you? So you'll know when you prepare it, you'll know if you got it at the right stage. Did you ever use the Pillsbury crescent roll when you break it open? The feel of that dough, that's what it feels like. okay? So I put a little bit of olive oil in here. I put of course, my bread starter, which is a homemade yeast. I put in 1 tablespoon of that. I put in 3.5 cups of flour, 1 cup and a quarter of warm to hot water, okay? Please take the temperature. If it's over 110 degrees, don't use it. You're going to kill your yeast. I like to use it at around 90 to 100 degrees for the yeast. I put in a pinch of sugar on top of that because the sugar activates the yeast more, and that's when you get a fluffier bread. After I incorporate the dough, and I also put in 1/3 of a cup of olive oil. After I get everything incorporated, that's when I add my salt, because what happens when you add the salt to the yeast, it stops it from lifting as much as it should. So if you incorporate it after you've done your flour, that the yeast is already starting to make everything work and lift everything up, then I put the salt in. Now in this, because you are using quite a few salty products, not salty, with a salt content, you're going to put a little bit less, but put salt. Take a piece of the yeast and taste it in your mouth to see if you can taste a little bit of salt. If you can taste a little bit of salt, it's perfect, because then you're going to be adding everything else to it, okay? So the first thing I want to show you, now don't think that they give you this away at the stores. You're going to pay, but you're not going to pay the full price of the prosciutto. If you have a rapport with your deli person, they sell it to you. If not, a lot of places, because they're making their own prosciutto bread around this time of the season. So what I would suggest to you, what I do, I go a month before, I freeze it. I put it in a couple of coats of plastic. I think this year we did, 2 or 3 coats, right? I did 1 like this and 2 bags. 1 Ziploc bag and 1 bag, when you buy the vegetables from the grocery store, I put it in there, I take all the air out, I put it in, and that's what I use. Okay, so you're going to need a sharp knife, and then what you do is you're going to start to cut. Okay, now, like I said, I already have it here. I'm doing more just to show you. It's a very easy process. You're just gonna make into little diced pieces. Leave all the fat, because that's what's gonna make this a delicious bread. Okay? Now, Nikki took off the hard part for me. So as you start to cut, you cut this skin off. This is like a, it's the skin of the pig, okay? So it's like a, the pork braciole? It's like that. So what we do, we cut off the hard part. Don't throw it out. You could use it when you make pasta fagioli. You could use it when you do pasta ceci, pasta patate. You cut like a little piece and you put it in, gives it a nice flavor. Okay? So this has a little bit of fat content, but it's a soft fat content, so we're going to use it. And as you could see, I took away a lot of the fat. But when I do the prosciutto, I leave it in just because it makes it nice and moist. You get that crunch, and you close your eyes and you remember when your grandma, your grandpa, or your favorite deli used to make it for you. But now you'll know how to make it yourself. Okay. There we go. Not too little. You want to see the prosciutto in there. You don't want to cheap out. Okay, so this should be enough stuff for in there. Let's do one more. Like I said, we have company over for the weekend, family. So I'm making this for them. I wasn't going to make it today. I was going to do everything for next week, because it's a lot of work for me to prepare for 2 weeks in a row. So my children finally understand it. And they're like, Ma, relax. Palm Sunday. My son-in-law, God bless him, was nice enough to invite us over for dinner today. So I'm going to have somebody actually cooking for me today. Okay. And there we go. Okay, we're gonna cut up some more provolone. Now this is the provolone de orecchio that's hanging on the rope. So this is the original. I got it at the shop right near my house. They get it whole. It's like what, 6 foot, 9 foot piece, and then they cut it into chunks to sell. Let me tell you, excellent, excellent quality. My hats off to the shop right over here in Westchester and Thornwood. Excellent products. Okay. Okay, it's just dicing and the preparation of the dough. After that, it's a breeze. So if you have somebody help you with the dicing and then you start everything, you should have no problem. Okay, now we're ready to start the stuffing of the casatiello. So we're going to move this over here. Okay. Now I have a little flour here. I don't know if you noticed it. And what I do is I brush some on the work area, brush some on my hands. No, I don't sing to the saints like I saw other people do. My bread's gonna come good. Okay. Let's see. Excellent. See what I mean? Look at that. See? Scrapes it right out. Okay, now I'm gonna get my French roller. Had this for years. I think I've had this since after Sandy, right, Nikki? Because the other one got ruined. We had to go out and buy everything new. And, okay. Now you see how easily? Okay, so what I do is I start on one side and then I work to the other. Now, try not to make it too big because it has to fit into your bunt. Try to get a bunt that's high like this. Grease the inside. Nikki did it for me with the pan, which is for baking. It's flour and butter, let's say. Okay? It's not butter because they don't use butter, but it's the same. The same meaning it's a lubricant. Okay. See how easy that is to work with? Okay. Now we're going to make this. That's it. Okay. Okay, now what I like to do is I like to sprinkle a little of the auricchio. No, this is Gran Padano. Gran Padano, it's a Parmigiano. I like a little bit, I love Parmigiano. I'm not really, Pecorino Romano, I use it. I like it sometimes, but I'm a Parmesan girl. Okay. For all our Italian friends in Italy, buona domenica delle palme. E sto facendo il casatiello. Adesso sto mettendo un po' di parmigiano perché a me mi piace un po' di sapore di parmigiano dentro. 5 uova crude che si mette all'ultimo sopra. Questa pasta è stata fatta con un po' di lardo pulito. Ho preso una buona qualità di lardo, ho messo 100 grammi dentro, sono 4 tazze di farina, tipo pane farina, ho messo sale, ho messo un terzo di bicchiere di olio di oliva per farlo bello, venire bello morbido e gustoso, pepe nero, 2 cucchiai piccoli di quelli che usi per il caffè, e poi ho messo un po' di sale, un pizzico di zucchero quando ho messo il lievito, che lo fa attivare e lo fa diventare bello alto. Questo è il mio segreto. E poi l'ho fatto stare per 3 giorni dopo ho lavorato. L'ho lavorato in tutto 3 volte. E sono 3 giorni che questa pasta è preparata. L'ho mantenuto dentro un cazzarolo fatto di acciaio, coperto prima con la plastica e poi dopo con una bella tovaglia tenuto al buio. Okay? So here we go. Now I'm going to start to sprinkle some more black pepper. The oven is preheating at 450 degrees. Il forno si sta accendendo a una temperatura abbastanza alta, la stessa temperatura che farete un pane usi per fare questo casatiello. Ok? Ecco il pepe nero. Okay, now we're going to start to sprinkle out our cheeses. Like I said, the hardest part is the dough, you know, to get a good dough. But with practice, you become good at it. You should. Everything is if you like it. If you like to do something, you're going to learn how to do it well. If you don't like to do something, give it up. Let somebody do it for you. But that's everything in life. If you crave something, you go for it, right? Ok. Ho detto così. La cosa più difficile è fare la pasta. Quando desideri una cosa, lo corri indietro. Quindi, se te vuoi imparare, chiunque se può imparare. I have little Mia, she's 8 years old going on 9. And she knows how to do everything. Why? Because she has a love for it. She has the same love her grandma has for it. And that's when you learn how to do things. Okay, so now we're mixing everything up. So like I said, in here is ham, Genoa salami, stick salami with white wine, you know, the dried stick salami with white wine. I have prosciutto, the raw prosciutto, which is the aged prosciutto, the leg, and then I have ham, which is prosciutto cotto, okay? I made it into little bite-sized pieces. Okay. Now in the oven I have the stone. Now you want to make it nice and hearty. You don't want to cheap out on this. Okay? So what I tell them all the time, 1 inch thick. They don't know what 1 inch thick is. On the machine, the slicing machine, they have the size. I don't know why they don't do it. This is only 1/4 of an inch thick. It pisses me off. Okay. And now we're gonna turn it. So now, when you turn it, you're gonna see it starts to expand. It becomes bigger. Okay? Look at that. And now your casatiello is ready to go in the oven. Now what I do is I start to stretch it out so we have a good incorporation of all the products. Look at that. See? Now me, from my eye, I could tell how big I need this. But as you get acquainted with making this and with your bundt pan, you'll know how much you have to roll out your dough. Look how beautiful. And now the final touch, we're gonna take paper towel. Now the eggs have been rinsed already under the sink, and then I put them in here. Okay, see? Get the egg and you press it in. Sometimes I do the little dough cross over it. It's not necessary. If you push it in enough, it stays. Okay. Because nobody eats that little piece of dough going over anyway. For me, it's just for, here we go, see? And you're gonna try to push them in as much as you can. This is gonna come beautiful. Okay. There we go. I have Emma crying inside. I locked her inside. My birds were put outside. That's why the house is nice and quiet. The children aren't around. My grandchildren are upstairs. They're probably watching and they're waiting to run down to see what I'm doing. So I did this so everybody really learns. Okay, now the egg, you're gonna put pressure on it, but not that much, ladies. You don't wanna crack the eggs and you have a mess. So what you do is you don't grab the egg directly on top. You grab it on the crown. And you're gonna put pressure and wiggle. There you go, see? And try to get it 3/4 of a way inside. This way it doesn't loosen up and come out. And now we place the casatiello in the oven. Happy Palm Sunday. I'll see you back when it's finished, when it's coming out of the oven, and we'll show you what's going on. I love you. Ciao, ciao. I'll see you during the week, and we're gonna do the pizza rustica, and we're gonna do the grain pies, okay? Le pastiere di grano. So come back, give me a like, give me a share, let your friends know, and happy Easter. Ciao. Remember to be kind. The world needs it.